talk about why I call myself a loser. Because by this world's standards that I live in, as a man, I am a loser. I have neither wealth nor status, nor do I have a woman in my life who enthusiastically shares my bed. And these are the things that we measure the success of men in our world by. And I knew from a young age I didn't quite fit in. I didn't have enough knowledge to interrogate this world, enough wisdom, but I felt wrong. It always felt wrong. I remember right at the end of high school, right after high school, I remember a friend of mine who enthusiastically went to UNH, University of New Hampshire. He said, what's wrong with you? You used to be so curious about things and excited and interested and wanting to learn, and now you don't want to go to college. I'm like, no. After 12 years of public school, why do I want anything to do with academia? Academia is the biggest freaking waste of time in my life. Most of going to school is just busy work. It's social engineering and busy work, and as a side effect, sometimes knowledge gets imparted. Anything made me sour on this world was 12 years of public schooling. Anything made me sour on this world is watch my dad give his heart and soul to a computer company that he was loyal to since, I think I hired him in the early 1970s, and then around 1990, they consolidated resources and fired him. Well, they laid him off. They gave him a buyout package, but even so, I watched my dad, just this loyal member of their, sales and engineering team, just get screwed. I got to watch the worst part of corporate America eat up the people that I grew up respecting, right? I got to see firsthand that maximizing profit is the whole point of business, and that's considered success, right? That's successful. It's not good enough to make a profit. You have to have ever-increasing rates of profit, and it doesn't matter how many lives you destroy on the way. Now, granted, the computer market was changing. We went from, what my father worked on was mostly mainframe-type computers, right? They used to design and build these big mainframe machines, through the 80s. But then miniaturization of technology reached the point where, now we have like server racks and things like that, but it's not like what they used to have. But instead of saying, let's find a way to adapt our workforce and keep our loyal people making money, let's just chop off part of the organization. I got to see pseudo community get ruined. The company sponsored an annual trip to Kennedy Lakes Park, amusement park, and we even got food and stuff paid by the company and a company picnic and all that. It was really nice. I know times change. So yeah, I've seen the world, and I don't want anything to do with it. I know that money is important, all right? Like I said in a previous video, the stock market is bullshit because it doesn't create wealth. It just reshuffles existing wealth. But it's very effective. So yeah, while I kept questioning why, I could have been putting, 3 or 4% of my paycheck in there and cynically exploited this currency accumulating mechanism that tends to work. And had that in reserve when I finally left my job. And I didn't do that. I could both know that something is bullshit, but still take advantage of it. And I didn't do that. Just like, like red pill knowledge, what they call, in the dating sphere. Now, I'm not attractive, so it's very little utility to me, but red pill knowledge is, you learn the ins and outs of playing other people's psychology, and you can manipulate, women in a way to make them desire you. The push and pull, the hot and the cold, the drama and trauma and all that stuff. If you wanted to me, it sounds terribly immoral, but it is effective, right? We can talk about things that are effective versus what's right and what's wrong. And likewise, we could talk about the tactics women use to manipulate men. But my point is, I see a world that's becoming more and more about just the inputs and the outputs. What is effective, not what is right and what is wrong. It's almost like, hey, we have the structure of capitalism, but capitalism without any kind of conscience. And I don't want to be part of that. We talk about community, but there really isn't hardly any community. Right? Everybody wants the benefits of the village, but nobody wants to be a villager. To actually do the work, right? We say, oh, we got to raise taxes and hire somebody to fix the potholes, when really we should be going out and fixing the potholes ourselves. You know, extrapolate that to other public services, education. You know, we have a volunteer fire department, that's part of it, right? Security, all these things. Managing the parks. Yeah, people want it, but they don't want to have to do it. They want someone else to do it. And so, I don't want to be part of that, right? The way to win in that world is to make a lot of money, have really high status, and of course, yes, there's the, for a man, it's to have if you're straight, if you're heterosexual, is to have a female partner that just adores the hell out of you and worships you and all that, okay? And, well, that's nice. I don't want to be worshipped, you know. When it comes to, I just want an equal partner who just loves me and respects me as much as I love and respect her. And I don't want to be rich, and I don't want to be high status. I just want to, you know, to the best of my ability, live by the golden rule. You know, treat others the way you want to be treated. So by the standards of this world, I am a loser, and I embrace it wholeheartedly. I agree and amplify so that someone out there will hear that and say, wait a minute, no, he's not a loser. Yeah, and I know I'm not a loser. But by the standards of this world, I'm a loser, so I embrace it. I embrace my loserdom. I have simple material ambitions, just to have enough. Losers do that. Losers think small when it comes to economics by the standards of this world. So I agree and amplify to show its absurdity. And if you don't pick up on that, well, that's your loss. It's not mine. Thank you for watching.